Bari Mackenzie.
Gerry Mclaughlin.
How you doing? You working here?
I am, yes, family business.
Oh right. Well, I was just after a trophy for my son.
Ideal.
Yeah.
How old is he?
6 months.
Something like this?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you very much. Well, as soon as you're here, should we just do the interview as well?
Yeah, let's get cracking. I've actually got some work to do right now.
Right, okay.
I'm just making some bottle openers and some stuff for the clan right now.
Good stuff.
If you don't mind helping, then we can get cracking.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. You got some stuff. I'll give you a hand. Let's do it.
Hi, I'm Bari Mackenzie, number 9 for the Braehead clan. I'm a forward and my style is high, hard and handsome. I mean accurate.
So I can see you've got another distraction there before we actually get any work or interviews done. Who's this?
This is my dog Bailey.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she's a sick.
Right, yeah, she's also staff here?
Yeah, yeah. When I'm home in the summers and stuff, she literally doesn't leave my side, as you can tell. She's just, well, she's sitting there with you now.
She's been very good there.
Guard dog.
So this is your dad's trophy shop and engravers as well?
Yeah, come on.
It's alright, we like dogs and animals, doing the clan showpieces, it works out fine.
Yeah.
So how long has this business been here? In
2004 my dad bought it off a guy called John McQueen, and he's had it for years.
Yeah, because I noticed it was still called,
yeah,
the outside there was no Mackenzie and Son. Right?
No, just kept the name. All the guys, people that come know it as John McQueen Engraver, so he just kept it.
Aye, and I see we've got some clan stuff to be
We
getting
do,
on
yes.
this. So what do we need them sticking these?
Yeah, well, just what you do is obviously you got to take them out. And
so I don't want to ruin it already.
Which
Which way up do they go though?
Well, it's a key ring, right? So
okay.
So,
oh, pretty good. That's great.
So just have to make sure it's centred, and then you're fine.
I might have messed that one up already.
Oh, that's fine.
So how long have you been round here then, Barry? Obviously being so close to the ice bowl is the first thing I kind of noticed.
Yeah.
And that was your first kind of introduction into playing then, was just because there was ice available nearby?
Yeah, my house isn't too far away from here either. Literally when the ice went up in 1992, I was literally thrown in the ice and that was me, so
wowzers.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I love it.
And it's an interesting place around here then as well. I mean, obviously you must know a lot of the sports teams with all these trophies and stuff around you. You obviously had your pick of sports to get into. What took you actually towards ice hockey?
I think my dad will probably take a big part in that.
Yeah.
My dad, yeah, he loves obviously ice hockey, and as soon as I was on the ice and playing, I actually got a stick in my hand. That was me. I had playing in the house, playing in the street, playing anywhere I could really.
Right, and did your dad play?
He did, yeah. He just played, I think, more for fun when he was younger, back when they lived in Glasgow.
Yeah.
My dad. So yeah, I think that was obviously a big influence on me, like throughout the years, like my dad pushing me.
No, because it's been an interesting kind of journey for you. You've had quite a few different teams you've played for, and at different levels at different times as well. When did you first start realising it started to become more of a serious pastime than a hobby?
Really, when you get to the age like 14, 15, 16, you kind of have to make a decision on what you want, right? But a lot of people say I don't want to play, a lot of people say they want to do it professionally. And when I went to America, I think that was when I said, right, Mum, obviously I've had a chance to go on a scholarship. I'm not going to just go over here for a holiday sort of thing. Like I want to make something of it.
And where was it you went? How did that come about?
Actually, we went for a family holiday in Florida.
Yeah. You just casually started playing?
No, my friend and I went, and there was a hockey school on. So we're like, we'll go down for hockey school for a week, and then we'll do the kind of parts and stuff the second week. So that was fine. And then we went, loved it, loved the facilities they had, and at the time they wanted me to come back, but it was the money that they're asking for was ridiculous, and unfortunately we just had to say no.
But that kind of gave you a hunger after that.
Yeah, obviously I was really disappointed at the time, but like what I would never ask my parents to do that. Like it was ridiculous. And then they came back late August time saying that they had given me a full scholarship, so that was absolutely fantastic.
Wow.
So that was me as soon as.
And where was that you were living then at the time? What was
it was like an hour south of Tampa.
Wow.
Where I was in Florida, and beautiful. It was absolutely fantastic, right on the beach and stuff. But it was a great facility, and I really enjoyed my time there.
And did you get to watch some NHL and stuff?
I went up to a lot of Tampa games.
Yeah.
A lot of Tampa games. A lot of my friends who played in the team with me as well, they were obviously from around the area, so they went up a lot. So whenever I could, we would go up, and then obviously my mum and dad came over one Christmas and went up to a few games as well. So
fantastic.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was absolutely.
And then that takes you back to Solway again, then I guess, where you.
No, that took me to Milton Keynes.
Oh right.
Yeah, it was actually Frank Dempster. At the time, he got in contact with Mum and Dad, said that Milton Keynes were looking for a young Scottish player, and he obviously said me, and I went down and met Nick Poole.
From Tampa Bay Lightning to Milton Keynes Lightning, then that's an interesting changeover.
So I went down and met Nick Poole, and then loved it, and was there for 2.5, 3 years. Yeah,
fantastic.
It was good times there.
It's been an interesting one for you as well, like because you've been around and seen the British hockey scene grow, and have been part of the levels where they've grown as well, and eventually the Elite League comes along, and you're playing for, well, I mean, also just before that, I think you got like over 100 points for Solway Sharks one season. So tell us about
two
that.
seasons, yeah. I like when Spud said at the rink earlier on. It was I enjoyed it, as I said to you as well. I came back and I just wanted to start enjoying hockey again, and at the time the Sharks were in a league with Fife and Dundee, so it wasn't a bad league. It was a good league, and I just actually started enjoying my hockey, and then that's when I moved to Edinburgh. Scott Neal had got in contact with me, so I went up. I liked Milton Keynes, went up and met him, we spoke and stuff, and we just went from there.
Because I guess that Elite League era was a big change in British hockey, and for you to play in that Edinburgh Capitals team, because you were playing in the top lines as well, weren't you? And scored, I mean, 50 points one season as well.
Yeah, that was my second. That was my second year when Richard's first year. The first years in Edinburgh was quite tough. That's when all the imports started leaving. So that was a tough year, but it was a big learning curve as well. And selfishly, I got more ice time than I never expected to get in my first year back in the league.
It's obviously been reunited again with Richard Hartman and stuff over at the Clan, but what did he say to you at that time? Obviously it was a difficult time, but he obviously knew you were somebody he could rely on to kind of plug those gaps, and then you proved it.
Well, in Edinburgh, it was hard for Richard as well, because that was obviously his first year in the country.
Right.
So he brought a lot of his own Slovakian players who hadn't played in the country before, didn't speak much English, so there was a few obviously British guys and a couple of Czech guys that helped out a lot with the language barriers and stuff.
Right.
So obviously he had to rely on us like quite a lot to like help, and so it was a good role. Like I actually enjoyed the role my second year in Edinburgh. It was fun. Like like when people kind of have to like rely on you for where's this or where's that. It's nice. Like, you know what I mean.
So you were the kind of go-to guy.
Yeah, I helped them out a lot. There's a few guys from Edinburgh as well who helped, but they all had full-time jobs, so like it was harder for them. Like, but I was
just like you being the Morgan Freeman and Shawshank Redemptions of like Edinburgh Capitals. You're the guy that can get you things.
I'm the guy that can get you things.
So you've had that role. You've had that role already.
Yeah.
And then I guess playing that well that season got you noticed by other teams. in the league as well, and the Cardiff Devils. As well.
Yeah. I went to Cardiff. I was there for maybe just under half a season. I obviously got sacked. It's no secret. But then that obviously opened the door for me to go to Manchester, which I loved. I loved my time in Manchester.
How did you feel at those kind of times? Because I mean, everyone talks about the brutality of professional sport, and there you have it. You've had like a massive high already, and then you go into that situation and things don't work out. How do you get your mind around that and then go into another club and have another good season, and then obviously end up back in the league again anyway? Yeah,
it was tough. I actually was playing quite well in Cardiff. I got injured, but I was playing well. I kind of knew it was going to come in a way, because that's when at the time Mark Richardson was in Kazakhstan, and he came back, and I was kind of questioning if it was going to happen. Like I knew if Andy was going to go, it would just have been me. But it's just one of those things. Like I don't regret going to Cardiff. Like I had other offers, but the Cardiff is where I wanted to go. When I spoke to Gerard Adams, like they sold it really well, and things just don't work out, right? But you know what? Probably I might not have been here today if it worked out there. You never know. So, but it was tough.
So when you eventually end up here in the Braehead clan, interested in you, and tell us a little bit about that story. And obviously, I mean, I know like you've grown up around here in Dumfries, and you can see from the pictures on the walls as well. Your dad's very proud as well of the accomplishments. But obviously, if your dad's from Glasgow as well, and your affiliations with Glasgow, when that option comes up, can you tell us a little bit about that story?
It kind of came up a few times actually. Just the year I had a good year in Edinburgh. Drew Bannister was the coach at the time, and he obviously wanted me. He had sent me a contract through, but Edinburgh just wouldn't release me. So I had to accept it. And I spoke to Bruce Richardson as well quite early on. But actually, when I actually signed to go back to Dundee. Well, I agreed to go back to Dundee when I spoke to Mark Lefebvre a few times, and in my head I was going back to Dundee. I never once thought Gareth would ever get in contact with me, and he did. And I can remember I was sitting at home in the summer, and and the email came through, and I was just like, right, I was like, show my mum and dad. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah. So I kind of played it off, kind of go, but I was obviously really excited. Obviously the Champions League hockey as well. Like I never expected it, but it was a great feeling to get that first email. And Gareth never spoke to me for a few weeks. We spoke briefly, and then he never spoke for a few weeks. And obviously I was still in contact with Mark Lefebvre and stuff like that. And then obviously sent me a contract through. So it was the hard call to obviously Dundee to say, like, I'm sorry, like I'm going to Braehead, but obviously like I couldn't have turned it down. It's somewhere I've always wanted to play.
So obviously it was a team you wanted to play, but especially that lure of the Champions Hockey League. And what was that like? I mean, we're talking about those ups and downs and those highs and lows. I mean, like you said, you've been released at one moment just a few seasons ago, and then a few seasons later you're playing in the top European competition. What was it like when you got out on the ice there?
It was surreal, actually. Like the fan base and just the way you get treated. It was so professional. It was really, really enjoyable. It was a great time, and obviously hopefully we can get back next year, hopefully. But yeah, it's something that I watched the Champions League the year before and stuff, and I never thought I'd ever get to be playing it. So it was fantastic.
And obviously it's led to another season with the clan as well, and people see the kind of growth of the club, and it's fantastic to have people now starting to return. That's something more often. But we've also seen a lot of players starting to play for Team GB as well, the guys that you've been playing with as well. Is that something that's quite difficult for you? Do you feel like you're there and thereabouts for the shout, but then it can be it just depends what's happening at the right time, positions and what have you? Is it still a dream of yours to play for international?
Of course it is. It's everybody's dream. It was tough. I mean, this selection process, like obviously Pete Russell and Corey have their guys who they rely on. Each tournament, it's no secret. And I just think, I mean, I'm 30. Like, I'm not getting any younger. I didn't make it when I had my good year in Edinburgh. And I was told the reason, and it kind of annoyed me then. But now, it's just, I don't know.
You can't disclose the reason.
Actually, like I know this sounds really bad, but it's actually the reason I was told was because I played for Edinburgh.
Right.
Yeah.
They just felt that wasn't.
It wasn't at
the time the right
because
standard.
we were out. We never made the playoffs, and they just felt that it wasn't the right move at the time. Because obviously we had a break, even though I kept skating. After the season, they just basically said it was because I wasn't as Edinburgh, not in a bigger team.
See, I guess that can be so difficult. It's that whole perception thing.
Yeah, to hear that was actually pretty hard. But that's life, right? But hopefully, like obviously I need to, if I start scoring again and playing well, like you never give up hope, right? But
absolutely.
Just need to see how it goes.
Especially when you must be inspired by some of the players that you've played with over recent years, the standard and quality of the player and experience.
Oh yeah.
They've come into the league, and guys that are playing late into their 30s. I mean, really, it's like a whole other career.
Yeah.
You could have again. Have you got any ideas of how long you'd fancy playing, and if so, what you'd like to do after that? Would you still like to work in hockey? Yeah,
I'd like to stay involved in hockey. It's been such a big part of my life since I was a very young age, so obviously that's what I want to do. Obviously I've got the shop here as well.
Yeah. Mackenzie key rings available at all good clan stockists. I think I've done that one. That's not too wonky. If anyone gets a slightly wonky one, it's probably my fault. So you've always got that to fall back on as well, have you said?
Yeah. But obviously I want to stay involved. But I've not really put a time scale on how long I'm going to keep playing for. I want to play as long as I can. I don't want I'm not ready to not play. I just couldn't see myself not playing, so I want to just keep going as long as I can.
Right, come on, that's it. Too much chatting here. Barry, you get back to work. Gerry, you can go back to Glasgow.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Sorry, man.
Sorry, alright, mate.
You've done enough.
Drive safe.
Sorry about that.